attendance was 12,022. The gate was 1.3 million. The fight of the night was Dillashaw and Cruz. And the performance of the night were Herman and Sanders. And everybody's coming. Everybody's moving slow. It's late. What's up, buddy? Any questions?
Yeah,
Go ahead. What we got? Yeah.
I got a question for Juan. Mateo, you have a box with the other.
Brother.
That's right. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let him go. He's got a mic. We'll get you a mic. Go ahead, Brett.
Just put your words onto the main event, and obviously the question, what's next? I mean, it was a great fight. It was a close fight. People had to score different ways. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, everybody in the back did too. It was a razor-thin fight. I think that Dillashaw looked awesome tonight, and the big Dillashaw's looked great since he's had the belt. The question was, what happens when Cruz comes back? How's he going to look against Cruz? I thought he looked amazing tonight against Cruz, and I'm a big believer in ring rust, and this is twice now that Cruz has shown up with absolutely zero ring rust.
Is this just one of those fights where there's really no real wrong score in your eyes? Like you said, everybody in the back had it scored a different way. I mean, do you think it's one of those deals where there's no wrong answer?
Yeah, I don't know. When they're that close, it's tough to say. I mean, I think that. I mean, one of the judges had like a blowout, right? Like 4-1 or something. That's nuts. That's crazy. That I don't see. I didn't see that fight. I didn't see a 4-1 fight.
Two of them had it 4-1, actually.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't know how many people saw that other than those two, but I didn't see that. But who gives a shit what we think? We're not the judges. It doesn't matter. You can argue about it all night.
Eddie, congratulations on the win. A question that's always asked after a fight like that, when it was immediately over and even during the fight when you're going back to your corner, all those different moments, did you feel like the fight was going your way? Did you feel like you were executing your game plan and the judges would reward you for that?
I did. I didn't see a split decision going in. And I'm the type of fighter who assumes I lose every round. I need my coach to tell me how I did. But that fight in particular, when I went back at the third, I assumed that I won the fight. So to see a split was that was a little shocking for me. I would have liked to let my hands go a little more. Anthony's a dangerous guy, and the idea was to wear him down, take all the pop off that fancy stuff, and just scrape him off the cage and beat him up. And he's so talented. It's tough to take risk against a guy like that.
And then you obviously said what you said in the cage about you feel like you're a title contender now. That next shot is happening in March, and then it's kind of unknown exactly what will happen. March isn't that far away, but you've got a unique situation now with a champion who could be in two different weight classes. So how do you approach that, being in your spot? What's going through your head about what's next after tonight?
When I signed with Lorenzo and Dana, I simply told them I would like the best guys that you guys have in the division. I didn't want top 15. I wasn't trying to look to show the fans something that I wasn't. I wanted the best guys. I didn't want knockouts and things like that. So they've given me the best guys. And to be honest with you, I don't know what I deserve. It's up to the boss man here. Whoever they give me, that's who we're going after. Hopefully it's for the title. I would love a shot at the title.
If you feel like a title is possible, how long are you willing to willingly sit on a sideline for an opportunity like that?
I don't mind. It's up to these guys. It's not my strategy. I'm fighting the best guys. So that's the next best guy in line. So far is Donald, who just fought for the title, Gilbert, who fought twice for the title, and then the title holder, Anthony Pettis. So I'm not asking for easy fights. I want the best guys, and I feel like I have the ability to adapt and the experience to beat the top guys in this division.
And then a couple quick ones for Travis. Congratulations on your win. You had said that you wanted to make a statement tonight. You feel like coming off that one? Talk about your performance. Were you happy with it start to finish?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm not extremely happy about that fight. I mean, for me, going into the third round, it's a win. And it was a win against a very unorthodox, tricky kind of guy. His movements just threw me off, I mean, he'd throw his left and then duck his head, and I don't know. It was kind of a funky fight, It's kind of hard to really look good against that guy. But, I'm happy I got the win. I got back in the win column, and whatever these guys have for me next, I'm ready.
And I have to ask, you're talking about it being a funky fight. There were 2 eye pokes. Can you kind of talk about, was the referee warning you about that? Did you think he handled it right? And then you kind of went after him. Sometimes we see an eye pokes, guys will step back. They know they poked him in the eye. Can you talk about, did you feel yourself poking you in the eye? Is that just something that you do? It doesn't matter. You fight until the referee tells you to stop. Just what was kind of going through your mind in those situations?
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where in the cage, I was apologizing up and down to Matt because, that's not my game. I don't try to, I'm not a dirty fighter, and even in the fight when I'm like, Matt, man, I'm really sorry. I promise you, I'm not trying to do that. He's like, dude, I'm jumping in on you. He's like, it's all right. It just happens. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, man, where it's an accident. You know what I mean? And I mean, if you watch the fight, it's not like I'm moving towards him, trying to, paw at him and poke his eye. It's like every time he would jump in, I would try to back up and either hold my hand out. Third round, I think I finally started closing my fist, but I mean, it's just part of the game, I guess. It's not. There's no malicious intent behind it.
TJ, Justin Barrasso, Sports Illustrated. Congratulations on a great run as champion. Curious tonight in terms of execution, if you felt like you controlled it all, if you were surprised with the outcome, just kind of walk us through if you felt like you were able to execute your game plan.
Dominic's a very good fighter. I do feel like I won the fight. Just pressure alone and controlling the octagon and landing the bigger strikes. I know he got a few takedowns that I don't really feel like should be scored that great with 3 seconds control, total. It's tough, man. It's a tough one to take. I definitely didn't perform to my best either. I maybe threw a little too hard and could have touched a little bit and set some things up. And, thinking back on it, yeah, I messed up. But I still think I won. I still think I won that fight.
His left leg, you really worked on that. Can you touch on your game plan there?
Yeah, man. I guess with every fighter, not just him necessarily, but just a little bit everyone, being well-rounded and setting everything up. And I knew it was landing, and I can see him limping. He couldn't even walk after the fight, and I probably should have stuck on it a little bit more, actually.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
For TJ, obviously the judges saw a lot of things very differently between themselves. Mm-hmm. Do you feel how do you feel about that? I mean, do you feel like you're obligated to always get a finish to avoid this sort of situation, or how do you feel?
I think I waited a little bit too much. I should have pushed for the finish. I know I rocked him a couple times in those later rounds where I landed some big shots, and I maybe should have touched a little bit, set it up, and pushed for that finish. Can't ever be happy with going to the decision. I mean, obviously, you wish the sport was a little bit better with knowing who's winning and who's not, but it's just the way it goes down, man. It's real frustrating.
Was there any real difference between simulating that combat and actually being there in person? Was there anything unexpected?
No, man. I mean, I knew I'd miss some shots. I knew that was going to be the case. I knew I'd miss. I just didn't follow up sometimes when I did. I'd miss a big shot instead of touching afterwards. I kind of let him scurry out. He wasn't doing nothing. He was running. I think I controlled the cage over 18 minutes of it from what I've heard.
Freddie, you won, I guess, what could be called a cautious fight. You didn't take a lot of unnecessary risks. You closed the distance. You disallowed Anthony to do a lot of his striking at his preferred distance. Now, do you feel, number one, it's a win over a very dangerous opponent, but at the same time, there aren't a lot of highlight clips that could market you or sell you as a desirable contender for the belt. So is that a double-edged sword? I mean, do you think you could have taken more rest, or you think that would have been a bad idea?
It is. I'm my biggest critic before anyone. I don't need anyone to tell me sort of what I should have did. I want to be more exciting. Trust me. But I'm not taking guys who are ranked 25 and 30. There's a real small margin for error at the top, and you can't be going out there being reckless. When a guy like Anthony Pettis, he's dangerous, he's talented, but he has a deep hole. So it's I need to exploit that, and I'd be stupid not to. So I definitely got the job done. If I was able to do some highlights in between, then that's great. But look, I want to do something huge here. I want to get knockouts. It's not my goal to do that. It's just I'm going against the best guys, and I'm trying to do my best to win and be exciting.
And Travis, at any one point, did you feel there might be a disqualification or no contest? It was a little weird. I think a lot of fans expected that might be a warning for, I believe, the second accidental eye poke, and the fight sort of continued from there.
No, I'm not. I don't think it was something that needed to be a point taken away. Again, it's I wasn't moving forward. I wasn't going after it. But that's why a referee's in there. I mean, he warned me a couple. On the last time, he's like, man, next time I'm taking a point. So I, did what I could do and to not let that happen again. But I mean, it was an accident. I don't know what to say.
And at this point, are you just happy to put this behind you and try to climb up the rankings again? Or if the promotion suggested some sort of a rematch, how would you think about that?
Rematch with who?
With Matt.
A rematch with Matt?
Yeah, just on account of maybe some of the controversy, just to put it to rest.
Is there that much controversy about the fight?
On the internet.
What about to you?
It was weird, man. I wasn't in a cage, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, neither was anybody else, but you say there's controversy. So what do you think?
So I think that, it felt like the referee didn't take the second eye poke as seriously as, as he could have. But, again.
So when a guy jumps in on somebody else that's defending themselves, you think that's necessary when they're not doing it intentionally?
It's up to the commission, I guess, to have set these rules, right?
Yeah, commission and refs. So I don't understand the controversy.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is for Mr. White. I understand you have a lot of pull in this organization. What are your thoughts on immediate rematch for TJ and Cruz, with it being such a close fight?
Well, Mr. Member of the media, I think that, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't even know if he's healthy. He's hurt again.
Once they're healthy.
We'll talk later.
Thank you, sir. You have
Thank
my number.
you. All right.
Thank you. Matteo Iarella, Boxeo Mundial. A question for Rob Font. Very popular local fighter, had a great weigh-ins, had a great showing tonight. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you. You beat George Roop, who's a veteran in your debut. You beat Joey Gomez tonight, who is a rookie in the UFC, but a very, very well-known local guy. What do you think about your potential in the organization? Because you've had one of the more memorable debuts, at least 2 fights in the top organization in the world. I think the sky's the limit. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like I can hang with, all the guys in the division. Obviously I want to, match my way smart and, strategically and all that. But I feel like I can hang with all these guys.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, bro.
Question for Paul. You seemed overly emotional after you got the win. Can you just talk about what went through your mind after? It's been a while since you got the W, but especially a submission.
Yeah, well, that's the first submission I've ever had in my entire life, so it was a good way to get the first one. It's been a long couple of weeks for me and my family. You know, I guess a week or so before the fight, we found out you know, my father has cancer, and you know, I was starting my weight cut and doing all the final preparations before we left for Boston, and you know, it was big news. But I just there was two ways I can go about it. I could just be upset for him and sulk, and he doesn't need that. You know, he needs me to go and do my job just like I did, and it definitely fueled my fire there in the third round. I knew he was folding, and that was my time to capitalize. I didn't care if I was ahead or behind on the scorecards tonight. I was in there to get a finish and keep my job again on Monday. That was it. So yeah, it was that's why it was a little emotional for me to A, get back in the win column, but B, more importantly for you know, for my family back home to just solidify my career here.
And one more question for you, Paul. I think one judge had you down going into that last round, and two of them had it tied. But where did you think it was at that point going into that final round?
Too close to care. I looked across the cage in the third round and spitting blood on the mat, and he looked like he didn't want to be there as much as I did. So I just figured that was the time. I felt him wilt a little bit against the fence. We were both kind of just dirty boxing a little bit, and I felt, you know, when you feel somebody just kind of, the breath comes out of him a little bit, and he had fought hard in the first two rounds, and I knew he kind of gave it everything he had, and you can kick me in the face all you want, and unless you put me down, I'm coming forward. So I just bit down on my mouthpiece and got the job done. I needed to finish. In my mind, I just needed to get the finish. I didn't want that to go to a decision again for another close one that I probably wouldn't have got, to be honest. So.
And a question for Dana, being back here in Boston. There was a time, I think, a fight like this main event may not have been appreciated on the level that it was kind of played out. But there was a standing ovation with 30 seconds left. What did you think of the crowd and sort of the knowledge of the crowd in watching that main event?
No, I think there was, actually, because since I've been in town, I mean, everybody's been saying to me, man, this should be a pay-per-view. This should be a pay-per-view. I think everybody there tonight understood what a great fight they saw and the two great fighters that were in it. I felt it anyway.
And for TJ too, just the same thing. Did you hear that standing ovation? What was going through your mind as that was going on?
Yeah, I definitely did hear it. You know, it's always nice to finish a fight that way, knowing you're putting on a show. I mean, that's half of why we're here. You know, other half's to win, which didn't work out my way.
For Dana, do you happen to have a medical update on Matt Mitrione?
Do I have a what?
A medical update on him? Anywhere from the hospital on exactly what the nature of the injury was and how he's doing?
Yeah, he is at the hospital, obviously his right eye, and he's getting his head checked out. But I felt like I was the only guy in the place that saw his shoulder like popping out of his skin. Did anybody else see that? I mean, apparently it got a separated shoulder, but they said it happens to him all the time.
Thanks, Dana. Travis, just quickly for you,
He
I
said
guess.
separated shoulder from the eye poke.
Well, Travis, just to touch on that, I mean, I guess if there is controversy, what people are trying to say is, did the eye poke contribute to the swelling? You had the best view of anybody there. Was it just that clean right hand that started everything, or did you see any swelling?
Actually, I'll answer that. It did. I saw it on the instant replay. They showed it on the instant replay in slow motion. Before he hit him, his eye was fine. When he hit him, the eye just started to swell up and blow right up.
That was in the third round.
Absolutely. And then the last thing I'd have for you, Travis, is it was kind of a rough week as far as the fans. I mean, at the weigh-ins, we heard a couple boos, a little trash talk. Same thing tonight. We heard some boos, a couple, hecklers or whatever. How's that soaking in with you, having to deal with that? Do you know where it's coming from? Is it tough for you to deal with? I mean, what's the emotion like for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, people can't smash my dreams, so they try to assassinate my character, and that's what people do that aren't comfortable with themselves.
Fair enough. Thanks, Travis.
Yep.
And just quickly, if I could, for TJ, I know it's tough for you right now, but talk about the fight playing out. It did seem, as things went on, you kind of settled down into more of a straightforward approach, a little bit less of the frantic movement that we were expecting to see. Was that an adjustment that you made on the fly? Was it a reaction? Was it the pace was so high? Just explain, kind of what the adjustments were as you went along.
It was just kind of the reactions to what was going on in the fight, and it was working. My touch pulls, returns, and making him miss and hitting him again, and then just knowing he had nothing on his punches. I felt like whatever he was going to give me wasn't very dangerous, and I felt like I was coming forward, and that's how I was going to win the fight, just being the more dominant fighter and coming forward and hitting him with those big shots and landing those kicks, and if he went for some takedowns, wear him out by defending them or, getting right back up as soon as he got him and not letting him get anything out of him.
And you said you think you won the fight. A lot of people did score for you, but people are going to be asking you for answers. What happened? People are going to point to things like the camp change, all of that. Was there any concern? Was there any feeling? Was this any different coming into the fight tonight than it was when you won the title?
No, man. I felt very prepared coming into this fight. The camp change had nothing to do with it. I did my last camp out in Colorado as well. I felt awesome coming in, rough camp with getting a staph infection through it and having to deal with that and messing up my cardio, but that's just something you got to deal with. It comes with every camp, but I definitely feel like I won that fight. Pushing forward, being the aggressor, landing the bigger shots. I just don't understand how you can't score it for that. More talking.
So, got a question for the new champion. Dominic, could you just take me through the lowest point when you had that injury and you fought once in 4 years or whatever it was? Can you take me to the lowest point, what it is that you visualized to sort of move forward, and did it, what you saw, did it resemble what happened tonight? Was this moment that you experienced tonight sort of make all of that worthwhile?
Not really, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to put it, that when you went through what I've had to go through with the injuries, you can't really put yourself in this situation. You kind of got to actually erase it from your mind in order to get through the injury. And then after you get through the injury, then you got to look at the 12-week camp that's in front of you, because your camp has to be twice as long because you haven't fought in so long. And you're fighting for 5 rounds instead of 3. So then after you look at the camp, then you got to look at the weight cut. And then after you get through the weight cut, then you can look at the fight. And then after you get through the fight, you end up here, and I haven't even had a second to take it in. I'm just here. I'm just being honest. It's like, I don't know. I haven't seen the fight yet. I've had like 4 interviews on the way here, so I'm happy, but I haven't really had a chance to take it in yet and like feel it. The best feeling I had so far was being able to look at everybody and how happy they were that I won. That was cool. That was cool.
Do you think that TJ did enough to earn a rematch? There were a lot of cheers at the end of the fight. Obviously, it's a split decision. Would your preference moving forward be to fight TJ? And if not, what would your preference be moving forward?
I just won the belt, and I've said this so many times that nothing really belongs to you, because right when you hold the belt up, Dana, Lorenzo, media, everybody in the world's already come up with 3 other matchups for you. People start yelling at you. There's a target on your back. He didn't really win. I could do better. I haven't even gotten a pat on the back for the win. I'm already getting asked who I'm fighting next. It's like, I'm here. Just let me win. Let me be here. I'll worry about who I'm fighting next when it comes. I don't care right now. I just want to be here and be in the moment, be up here with these other guys that fought their hearts out. TJ fought his heart out. He's got a sweet suit on. Travis fought his heart out. All these guys, let's be here with that instead of worrying about matchups right now.
Hey, Dom, Mateo Urella from Boxeo Mundial. You and I spoke on Thursday about the level of perseverance it takes for a guy like you just to get back to the fight, which I think was a victory in itself, and to get the victory over a tough champ like TJ is even sweeter. If you want to talk a little bit, because you had such a brilliant answer about the level of perseverance and mental fortitude it took for you to get back the belt that you never lost.
It took a lot of perseverance. To be honest, there's no level for it. You just got to kind of, I said this before, when it rains, it pours. Everybody in this world has felt that before. Feels like you're having a bad day, and then you spill coffee on your shirt, and then your tire goes flat, and then you step out and stub your toe on the curb. It's like everything seems to stack up. That's kind of how I felt this time. So when it rains, it pours. You got to put a big, heavy coat on, put one foot in front of the other, and when the rain stops, everything starts growing. The flowers, the grass. Right here, I'm standing in the grass. I'm standing in the flowers. It's a nice feeling. It's going to rain again. It's a matter of time. So it's just a matter of getting through each rainy season, putting one foot in front of the other, keeping your head high, trying to stay positive when you're going through it, and then getting through it and being happy that you did and evolve from it instead of putting your head down through it.
Thank you, champ. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is for Dominic. I know that you said you haven't really had a chance to process anything yet, but what did you feel like when you got the belt back standing in the octagon? Were you surprised at all?
I wasn't surprised. I felt like I was countering well. I felt like he missed a lot. I felt like I got some sweet takedowns in there that were timed right. You know, I kept the pace high. I was throwing a lot of combinations. There's a lot of things I did well. There's obviously things that I got to look at that I did wrong probably, like every fight. I mean, if you get hit, you did something wrong. I'd prefer to not have one finger laid on me if I could help it, but it doesn't always go that way. So it just felt good to have the belt and know that I belong here. You have your doubts when you go through what I've gone through, where you go, how good am I? And, you know, 1 minute and 4 years of fighting to come back and fight what was said to be one of the pound-for-pound best. These guys, I shouldn't technically maybe be able to go with them, but I'm winning.
And it looked like you re-injured your knee a little bit.
Did not re-injure my knee. My knee's good. It's my left foot. I had a foot injury before I came in. Plantar fascia tendonitis. Lots of golfers get it. I wish I was a golfer. It'd be a lot easier, more money. But you know, football players get it when they plant on their back foot. Runners get it. It's a normal thing. It'll heal. It'll be fine. It's just really sore. It's weird to me that as fighters we're not able to tape our feet, tape our ankles. Football players can, basketball players can, hockey players can. The best athletes in the world are able to tape their ankles, tape their feet. A little bit of tape probably would have helped a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. I made it through. It hurt in the 5th round. Before that, I was fine.
I just have one last question, and this is for TJ. Obviously, leading up to the fight, you guys, there's a little bit of animosity between the two of you. How do you feel now that the fight's over, and obviously you're on the losing end?
Oh, it sucks. This isn't fun, you know. The goal is to win coming into this. Real tough, you know, tough to take it. You know, I didn't like all the trash talk. That's not who I am. I feel like I want to be a little more of a role model, but that's someone else's. I don't know. It's tough.
Animosity's still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Matteo Urella, Boxing Mundial, one more time. For Rob Fine, I know you train with Mark Delagrati and Eddie Alvarez and 2 local legends, big names in the city. If you want to talk about what it's like to be able to train in the city and perform in the city that really has your back, and obviously, again, great performance again tonight.
Yeah, you know, started training here maybe 2009. Linked up with Crew Mark. Got with Eddie Alvarez maybe in the 20. But I got with Eddie Alvarez around 2012. Been working with him ever since, and yeah, you know, they have a lot of knowledge. They know all the boxers, and
I don't train this guy. It's a different Eddie.
you met him this week, right?
I'm not training anyone.
But yeah, it's awesome. You know, I get you know, nothing but top-notch training partners out here, and great knowledge all around. Thank you.
Take one more question.
For Dominic, please. Dominic, I know you don't want to focus on the injury. Thanks for the details that you had. How long do you think it will keep you out? And what is the plan moving forward? I know you don't want to focus on another fight right away, but you lost so much time. What is the plan as far as frequency moving forward?
I didn't say I didn't want to focus on a fight right away, but I mean, I didn't even get to have this win. I'm here still talking about the next fight. So just, I don't know. I mean, I guarantee you Dana has an idea. I guarantee you Lorenzo has an idea. Ask him.
I guarantee you we don't.
Well, then there you go. That's about how much I know. So let's give it some time. But as for the injury, I'll be fine. I mean, I've dealt with worse. I'll be fine. Just let me get an MRI on my foot. I don't think I tore it all the way. I think it just hurts real bad. I mean, I just fought for 5 rounds on it.
And kind of a similar question that TJ got. I mean, you guys did have a little bit of animosity in the build-up, but did he gain your respect in there? It was a back-and-forth fight. It was a very entertaining matchup. Did he gain a little bit of your respect in there tonight?
You got the next question. Go ahead. I'll give you one more.
I don't know who you were talking to.
Oh, yeah, it was for no, it was for Dominic. I'm just asking. It was a similar question that TJ got earlier. He was asked if he respected you. I mean, you were in there for a tough fight, Dominic. Did he gain some respect from you tonight?
I always respected him, but we're fighting. So when you're in a fight with somebody, when they're talking about taking your head off and knocking you out in 2 rounds and not giving you any respect whatsoever, you know, with that, I got mad and I said what I wanted to say back. It wasn't about disrespect. It's just about we're getting into a fight. And to me, that doesn't make me a bad role model. It doesn't make me a bad person. I'm going in there to hit this guy, punch him in the face, you know? It's a fight. I'm sorry I didn't say kind things all the time, but it's a fight. He didn't exactly do very kind things to me in there, and I didn't do very kind things to him back, so forgive me for my mean words.
And just one last one for you, Dominic. You kind of surprised us taking a swipe at Kenny Florian there at the end. Can you, was that friendly fire, or was that...
It was friendly fire. I mean, I like Kenny, you know. He didn't pick me in the fight. He gave me really no chance in this fight, so I'm just a little poke. Nothing big. He's got great hair.
You're good? Yeah? Thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. Have a good night. Be safe.